In 2026, we all know as business owners, this is the lowest time probably in our modern history in terms of just trust, right? Somebody in business to do business with you, they have to trust you. They're trusting that if you make a promise or you make a claim, they're going to pay you money and you're going to act on that, under promise and over deliver on that. But with AI, with technology, and just the way things are going, there's a huge lack of this valuable currency, which is trust. And that's affecting everybody. It's affecting the consumer, but it's also affecting you, the business owner, in terms of people that they used to sign up for your services. Now there's a lot of friction. There's a lot of asking for discounts, and there's a lot of people backing out. So how do you, as a business owner, bridge the gap of lack of trust, a lot of friction, to them trusting you? And again, when they trust you, they're going to take action. And it's not just good for your wallet, it's good for them to get the result that you're claiming. But how do we do that in 2026? And so if you guys have ever met a famous athlete, famous politician, famous movie star, if you've ever met somebody like that in your life, you realize that it's interesting. You shake their hand and you're like, wow, I feel like I know you. I know this person. I've watched you on TV. I've watched interviews. I've listened to you on a podcast. And there's an instant sense of trust and connection. Whereas with that famous person, they're shaking your hand like, hey, Jimmy, nice to meet you. I've never heard of you, seen you before, but I'm here now. But you trust them instantly. So what does that mean for you? That's called a parasocial relationship. And that's what in your business you need to build. Because again, if there's a gap of trust, how do we bridge that gap? It's not by spending more money on advertising, right? I have clients that spend tens of thousands of dollars, maybe hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on paid advertising. And yes, that will get you more traffic, that gets more leads. But if there's still a lack of trust, you're constantly fighting an uphill battle, especially when it comes to sales and you're selling a high ticket, if you're a plastic surgeon or a lawyer, or again, you're making it's a big thing that you're kind of promising or claiming. If you just spend more on marketing, you're going to get more leads. But the trust factor, how do we bridge that gap and build that parasocial relationship for your business? And it's through things like this. It's through YouTube. It's through social media. That's the main idea of this video, and even why a lot of business owners make content, because you're value adding, you're educating, you're giving people information, but you're also building that trust. I think Google, they came out with a study that before someone makes a decision to work with you and your company, they need to hear about you, see you somewhere at least 7 times. That number is going up. It's gone up from even 20 years ago to 7x, 7 times. But it's going to continue going up over the years as, again, AI progresses and people they don't trust anybody, especially if it's online or on the internet. So when you develop YouTube content, when you do Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, yes, you're educating, you're adding value, but you're also developing that parasocial relationship between you and your ideal clients, because we all know that the most qualified, the most financially well-off customers, they care about trust. They don't care about price as much. They care about, do I trust you to accomplish what I need? Am I going to get the outcome from you that I'm seeking? Whereas, of course, more lower end customers, their number one priority is, what's the cost? What's the discount? They price shop. Those are probably a lot of the customers that you get right now, because you're doing what everybody else does. It's Google ads, it's, nothing wrong with Facebook ads, but that's the first step. That's how you get visibility. But you need this funnel in the middle between a lead and a sale to get them to trust you and find you credible. And that's, again, what social media, what YouTube, what webinars, that's what things like that do. It develops that parasocial relationship to where if you're a doctor, a patient comes into your office and they say, wow, I've watched you on YouTube 20 times. I already feel like I know you. And what that does is it develops that trust and connection instantly. Number 2, it also helps them lower their guard. It helps them listen to what your recommendations are, because as we know, the best clientele, they're the most coachable. But if they're going to be coachable, they need to trust you, and that whatever you're saying is golden, right? Whatever you say, you mean it, and they should implement it. They should listen. But again, it's not just that. It's also the people that are the most qualified. They do the most research, right? They're not the ones to say, hey, I found you on Google or something. Yeah, give me a facelift for $50,000 or something, like instant. It's like, no, it's probably through referrals, right? But the issue with referrals is that, yes, they trust their friend who saw you or worked with you, so now they trust you, but referrals aren't scalable because you can't control that. You can't predict it. There's not an input that you can do as a marketer and a business owner to get the output of referrals. Yes, you can do incentives depending on your industry, but you can't force somebody, hey, I want 10 referrals in the next month, right? Whereas with social media, with YouTube, there's hundreds of millions of people, and of course, a small percentage of them could be your ideal clientele, but they're out there, but they don't know that you exist, right? And again, the most qualified people, they do the most research, but if they can't find you on YouTube, on social media, that creates distrust because they're like, who is this person? I can't find them online. And so and there's data to support this that I can put in the description. But that's the main idea of you as a business owner, no matter what industry you're in, but especially traditional businesses, because they usually lag marketing wise versus online businesses. So just because you're a chiropractor or a dentist, or again, you're a lawyer, something that's a traditional business, you can still be doing this. If anything, you should start now and get ahead while your competitors, they're still in the same place. Bottom line, in your business, there's no downside necessarily to building these, again, parasocial, trust-building relationships at scale. Because again, I could do this video and get 1 view, I could get 1 million views. It takes the same probably 8 or 9 minutes to shoot this. So think of ROI on your time versus other things that you might be doing that are very low scale, one-to-one. And you don't need a big fancy studio. As you can see, I'm shooting this in my kitchen right now. And believe me, before I had this nice, setup and this nice home, I was doing videos with a blank white wall behind me. It doesn't have to be fancy, but it has to be consistent and it has to be intentional. So bottom line, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. But my action step would be just start. Don't think it's going to be perfect. Start making content. And again, you're going to start seeing not just leads from it, but most importantly, it's going to support other marketing that you're doing. Thanks so much for watching this video. And again, my name is Alex Albaran. Have a great day. Thank you.